So the first part is going through the first group of arrows. Probably just have a quick 5-minute break halfway through there because it's still a little bit of ways to go. So we'll see how we go for time. And some of them we won't see very often. So I don't know how many of you are actually born from 2000 onwards. So there won't be a lot of people in the room potentially that have the arrow of resignation or procrastination. But we'll spend a few minutes on it anyway, because some of you might have done arrows for your children or for younger clients. All the usual start off bits. So the first one we're doing is determination and resignation, which is more in line with the wood, hun, and water aspect of us. So 16 arrows in total, 8 of them are full, 8 of them are empty. Okay, and remembering that, of course, not all of us have arrows. As some of you that were working out what you had, you went, oh, I don't have any arrows at all. So if you've been able to work that out, you might have also done some of your other friends or family patient charts to see if they've got any arrows. So again, this is a helpful slide to be aware of for your quiz, but we talked about that already. So the first one is the arrow of determination. So an example of that is someone that's born on the 12th of June, 1957. So you can see, according to that chart, that they had a 0. So a 0 goes nowhere, a 6. So the 6 came up the top. We had a 1, so it came off to the side, a 2, top, left middle, the 1 back down here, and the 9 top right, 5 middle, 7 bottom right. So when you look at the chart, there's no arrows complete across the bottom. It has a 1 and a 7, but no 4. There's a 2 and a 5 across the middle, but no 8. The 3 is missing. If you wanted a 3, 6, 9 arrow, it's missing. And then if you work your way top to bottom, again, there's always 1 missing. But the one line that is consistent is 1, 5, 9. And of course, there are no empty ones here. Okay, so that's the arrow of determination. So you're obviously a determined person, very persistent. This determination can be achieved via patience, endurance, and planning, but it can also be achieved swiftly with drive and planning on the go. So you can take your time, process it all, and work out what needs to be done. Perhaps you've got your lists worked out, what the processes are, but you also have the capacity, because you've got some of that wood and hun, stuff can happen quicker while you're heading towards something. And that's really cool, because in some ways, a lot of us need one or the other. So, you know, part of the population will need time to sit back and process and plan, and then they act. Others will act as they go. They don't want to sit down and plan it out. They plan it as they move. And so it's usually one or the other. This person has the ability to work that out in terms of, do I need to sit back and plan it, away from everyone, make a plan, then act? Or do I just start going? I'm feeling confident and we'll make it work as we go. So it's quite a skill. And as you can see there, for 10 years, everyone had this arrow for 10 years. So people born in the 1950s potentially have a lot of determination. You can have this arrow even if you're not born in the 1950s, by the way. You just have a combination of different numbers, but still be this arrow. So it tends to mean that this person will likely have some sort like distinct likes and dislikes. It's not necessarily to be mistaken for stubbornness or selfish behavior. They are who they are. And this determination, if harnessed correctly, will help them achieve a measurable success in life. You know, watch them go. Be careful that determination doesn't become the only driving force in your life. Pay attention to when there are significant roadblocks preventing your determination when trying to achieve your goals. Excuse me. Step back. Look to see that your determination is flowing with universal energy rather than against it. If everything is pointing to stepping away from a task, reassessing and starting again from a different angle, then do that. And this is where the arrow can become a crutch to some degree. We constantly using it all the time, even when maybe we've got roadblocks that we would normally be able to get through, but we can't this time. And so we go, oh no, it's always worked in the past. So you keep pushing for it. You might eventually succeed, in which case maybe that was just a process of perseverance and you get there. Or maybe it's a case of you're still not getting what you want. At what stage do you go, yeah, maybe this is the wrong, I need to take my superhero cape off for a while and reassess. Go back into that planning, reassessing phase and look to see if you're aiming for the wrong thing or you're coming at it from the wrong angle. Change the way you come at something, go under it, over it, around it, whatever it is. And then all of a sudden it works. And you have that capacity with this arrow to do that, to process, plan. And sometimes with the arrow, you can also go too far, too fast, or you can get stuck in the processing. So you process, never reach the point where you go and actually do it, or you just pull out of a gate and you just go at it. Oh, it'll be right. I'm determined. It'll work. So if you're too much in those extremes, it's not ideal either. If your child's got this full arrow, allow them a chance to explain themselves when they're pursuing a task with bullheaded determination. Don't automatically discount their pursuit. Hear them out, decide on a course of action together. And we talked about this, how common it was for that decade. So the wood's the bit that you are deciding and you're determined on the run. The water and the metal allows you to step back and process and plan and format and weigh up the pros and cons before you then move into that action phase. So in terms of a treatment, you obviously want to target wood, metal, water. So in this case, I've got a few slightly different ones, but still some consistencies. We've got our beautiful Do 20 being that one that's the highest and most connected to our Hun and our universal energy. We've got kidney 26 and 27 for wood, water, and metal. The value there is that metal can actually be part of both kidney 26 and 27. So we can get 3 elements done with only the 2 acupuncture points. And where I'm kind of aligning myself with potentially looking at doing some back shu points now. So back shu point for liver or wood, the back shu point for kidney and water. We've got lung 9, which is the yuan source point of lungs, and that's the metal part. And then we've got the yuan source points for liver and kidney, so wood and water respectively. And then the good old spleen 6 doing those multiple elements. So again, adding in those kind of groupings of points that we've touched across today and yesterday, but also just a few little variances. I had the opportunity to put the pinyin names in on some of the slides. Unfortunately, I ran out of time building the slides to be able to put the pinyin in every single combination. So I do apologize about that, but in some ways, this is still good that you've got it in some of them.